Hey team, in this video I'm going to show you how to build a professional looking menu system in Python using Tkinter. I'll walk you through the code from top to bottom so you can understand exactly how it works and how you can use it inside your own application. Open up your favorite browser, then go to github.com/softwarenuggets/Python projects. In there you will see menubar v2. Click that. Here you can see the source code for this video, and inside of the video subfolder there's the question mark PNG. You'll need all three of these files for this source code to work. So download this on your local computer and let's walk through this together. As you can see, I highlighted lines 1 through 9. So at the top of this file, we import everything needed for the menu system. The annotations import simply allows us to reference classes before they're defined. We also import data class and typing helpers to make coding cleaner and easier to understand. We also import Tkinter and TTK. Tkinter is a core UI library, and TTK gives us a modern looking widgets like a label, button, and combo boxes. Next, we'll look at line 16, MenuCommand. This line defines a type called MenuCommand. It simply means a function that takes no parameters and returns nothing. It allows our editor to understand what type of callbacks our menu will use. This class defines the actual menu you'll see on your screen. It does not draw them, it simply describes them as a data structure, a JSON object. In this class, we have a method called default spec. It returns a list containing all the menu definitions. We define the top 3 layers: file, edit, and help. Inside each one of these, we define menu items such as new file, export, load sample screen, save, and exit. Some entries are commands, some are cascade. Cascade means submenus. Here you can see export, image option, that's cascade. Here you can see we have key value. Key value, that's what a dictionary is. Here we have the key called items, and then we have an array of values. Inside of the first item, new file, let's look at that. File, new file. You see that the label is what we can see as the entry. The action is the function that will be executed. The icon key is a little blue box here. The accelerator, Control N, you can clearly see that here, and that will bind to hitting the Control and N button on your keyboard. The next item is kind. Notice we're saying kind separator. You can see that horizontal bar go through there. On export, the kind is cascade, and here label means what we show the end user. Then we get into items, just like we did above. And items have export as CSV, PDF, and guess what? We have another cascade menu, and this one has resize image and convert to black and white. Menu actions. This class contains the actual code that runs when a user clicks the menu option. Each function here corresponds to an action named defined in the menu spec. Let us look up our first one. It says new file. New file, action, new file. Notice here on our next one, we'll have label, action, resize image. When we come back down to our code, we should have a resize image. Now, separating the menu code from the action code keeps our program clean and organized. Say you come back in 3 months and want to add a new form window class to your app, and you want the menu bar's display and cleanup functionality. Well, this will be easy because our code is clean and easy to modify. Now we know we need to modify the SpecBuilder class. go down to the default spec function and add our new window we want to appear. Notice here we're saying load sample screen, and that is what the user will see when they're looking at the menu. And the action will be load sample screen. Now the beautiful thing about this is these are in compartments. So now I have just updated what we see with our eyes. Now we have to go and create this load sample screen function. So the default spec has been updated. Now let's go down to the class called menu actions. Menu actions is where we put our menu click handlers. I've already kind of started it for us, but look here, we have a function called load sample screen. Now I have another class object called load sample screen, and this is what I want to call. I want to put this up on the screen and then let the user see this, whatever I built in this class, I want them to be able to see that. Now, here you can see that we're just going to be saying viewing sample screen on the controller on the status bar. I'm going to then clear the screen, and here I did a from import, and I'm going to override the cancel button to actually update the status bar, setting it back to ready. And then I'm actually going to call the screen itself. You can see the app. We have our new menu item called load sample screen. You can see that called the class load sample screen. Here it goes here. Notice the status bar says viewing sample screen. When I hit cancel here, I'm expecting this to return back to ready. Let's do it. And that is how you add functionality to your app. Here you can see we're going to be looking at the MenuController. This is the heart of the system. MenuController builds the menu bar, loads icons, binds keyboard shortcuts, manages the contact area, and controls the status bar. Let's look at build menu bar. This method loops through the menu specification and dynamically builds the actual menu objects you see at runtime. In the populate menu function, this function walks through each menu item and decides whether it's a command, submenu, or separator, and then attaches it to the correct UI element. In the bind accelerator function, this ensures keyboard shortcuts actually work. Tkinter displays accelerator text automatically, but you must first bind the key events. Lastly, let's look at self.statusVar. This creates a status bar at the bottom of the app that gives users feedback on what's happening. Now let's look at the functions getIcon and pixelIcon. This code loads menu icon. Tkinter requires you keep a reference to the image, so we store them in a dictionary. If no icon file exists, we generate a simple color square as a placeholder. Finally, we have the program entry point. Notice main on line 485. That takes us up to line 440 for the function main. Notice no return value. We build the root, set up our geometry, set up our styles. We'll talk about this more in a moment and how they relate to these controls. We set up our menu style. We set up our MenuController, and then we build our menu bar with our JSON from default spec. Then we call main loop. The UI becomes interactive. On line 448, you can see that I'm setting up TTK styles, and I'm going to use the theme. Now, TTK themes are Clam, Alt, Classic, Vista, XP Native, Aqua, if you have a Mac. Now, these only work on widgets like TTK button, TTK entry, TTK tree view, etc. Let's start with TTK. I think you get it. Now I have shown you what they look like here, and notice that we're using Vista. Let me change that to use something else and I'll show you the difference. Here you can see I'm using the theme Clam, and notice the buttons are different. Here you can see I'm using classic, and notice the drop-down combo looks a little different. Remember, TTK styles are just for TTK objects. I truly hope this video was helpful to you and made the Python Tkinter menu bar a lot easier to understand and implement. If it added value or helped you solve a problem, I would really appreciate if you clicked the thumbs up button. That small gesture helps other Python programmers discover this video and let them know it's from a trusted source. Now, if you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, please feel free to leave a comment below. I read them all, and I'm always happy to help where I can. Thanks so much for spending time watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you back in my next video. Take care.